get hooked on hooks. So they're finally here, React hooks. Tonight I'm going to cover why they exist, how to use the simple hooks, how to compose them, and maybe I can get you as excited as I am with this technology now. Okay, so first off, a bit about me. I'm Ramon. I've been programming stuff for 12 years, mainly hardware. In the last 3 years, I found out about web development, fell in love with it, thought of making a career, and did it. Also, I'm Brazilian. I come from this island. It's got 42 beaches. This is a picture of one of them. And I'm here in the winter, and it's summer there. So people like ask me why I'm here and not there. And that's why I want to talk about a bit Bulb. So real quick, I was in Brazil. Like I wanted to be where the action was. I reckon lots of immigrants here felt the same when coming to London. And for those who don't know, Bulb, we're an electricity and energy supplier. We do all those cool stuff. And I want to talk to you about working at Bulb because I'm looking for new colleagues. So Bulb, we got the best tech stack that you guys expect, React, GraphQL, all the cool things you want, all the best processes, agile, cross-functional teams, all that. And apart from that, you still got that thing about green energy, renewable energy, making the planet good. It's just so cool to be there in that environment. So if you feel interested, just drop me an email with your CV. Also, I got some pictures of life at Bulb, so we're really cool people. So if you feel like you're a nice person, you're very smart, please, please send me a CV. Okay, so let's get started with hooks. So hooks, for those, just to get an idea, is there anyone here who's not a React developer? Yeah, okay, nice. We all came to the right event. Okay, so hooks is basically a new interface. It doesn't implement something new to the language. It basically makes it easier for us to do the things that we already do. Because, I mean, React is already mature. It's got like this huge community. Like, look at all those people here. And, I mean, you don't lack something big in React. So what we need now is just to make it simpler, make it more usable, mainly for new developers. So to point out why hooks are important, I'm gonna tell you some problems in React. Some of them might not seem like that big, but if you allow me to complain about them, please let me. Okay. So the first thing that bothers me the most is like classes and how confusing they are. Of course, I mean, I've been developing with React for 2 years already, and I'm pretty sure what happens here, and a lot of people here do too. But like, picture yourself back when you just began developing with React. Say you want to do a stateful component. So you wanted a play button. You wanted a button that when you would click, it would set some state to playing. Yeah, look at that code. Looks all right. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. Then you save the file, refresh the browser. Oh, Lord. Okay, what's going on here? Cannot read property of set state of undefined. This is undefined. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. We need to bind the instance to the method, to the class method, right? It makes sense. Also, there's this thing about like classes and functions. Like you can create classes class components, you can create function components. Like sometimes you don't know if you're gonna use the state for something, so yeah, let's make it a function. And sometimes you realize that you don't need state anymore. Like you have Redux, so you make it a function anymore, and like you need to be like changing the code. It's just so frustrating. Sometimes I go through code bases where all components are classes because people just couldn't care less. So okay, next problem: higher order components and render props everywhere. So I mean, I'm pretty grateful for higher order components. I mean, they solved a big problem, but they also bring us like things like this, man. We all been there. So, and like the thing that I find it a bit frustrating also when I was beginning with React, okay, so I got a component there. It received some props, it received stuff, okay, it renders stuff. Let's see what stuff is. Let's go to its parent. You got its parent, okay, it renders child. Oh man, okay, so what? Then you go back to the giant file where child was. Oh man, the wrapper. Okay. So, like, and what does that mean? Like, why? What is stuff? And why is it inserting it? Like, it may seem very nitpicky in this example, but if you go back to this and you need to go up all that tree, man, no, we're all Michael Scott here. And like when you're trying to debug all these, you go to React DevTools, okay, let's check on our tree. And man, you got this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like you need to scroll down and scroll sideways to get wherever you need to go. Like with router, routed private. Man, those are not components. I mean, okay. What if we could solve this? Okay. This is what we call wrapper how, by the way. Some other problem, unreusable logic. So there's this, like, this is a bit, I'll give you a simple example for this. So above we got our marketing site, and it needs analytics. We got some custom analytics that we call every time those pages mount. And we need to call it only when the page mounts. So these components are like very simple. They didn't need to be a class, except for the analytics. And we got a bunch of them. What if there was a way we could reuse it so we could have function components like with those functionalities without having the lifecycle methods? And the last thing, complicated components. This is Bulb's join page. This is where people go before they switch to Bulb, and it looks pretty harmless at first, but there's a lot of things going on here. So first off, you can see a form, so yeah, you need form validation. I can tell you that we have a sync validation too. For example, we don't supply to Northern Ireland, so yeah, we need to check that with our server. We do A/B tests. We do, there's our referral program that happens here too. There are a lot of things. There's analytics, there's URL decoding and encoding, there is cookies. Man, there are a lot of things going on here. Maybe it should be in some other component. Yes, probably. But that's the thing that we have today, and it's just so complicated to reason about. And it's like too long. It's just too long. And the worst part is like, say you want to solve some bug with referrals, and all the referral logic is like scrambled between lifecycle methods, Redux, wrappers, class methods. Like, okay, let's move. What if I told you there is a solution to all that? So I'm gonna show you tonight. Oh, the contrast is not really good there. Okay. I'm gonna show you tonight how hooks help us solve each of those points, and let's get started. So hooks are basically functions that you call inside your functional components, and they give you access to functionalities that were only previously available inside classes. So to demonstrate it to you, I'll do some live coding, and I'm going to show you how we replace like state in a class component with code in code. I'll probably need someone to hold this for me. Any candidate? I don't know. Friends, come here. Come here, Max. Oh, too many friends. Okay, be here and hold this.
Oh my god.
Thank you. No, it's in my mouth. Not awkward at all. Okay, so so I'll be pretty. Oh my god. Okay, I'll try to be pretty straightforward here because of time constraints. So how we do it? There's this new function that you import from React called useState. Basically, you're inside your function component. You can see app here is a function. You call it here, and it returns you a tuple, which is an array that you know the shape, with your value and a function to set the value somewhere. And you can set here the initial value that will only be accessed on the first render of the component. So what we want here is, I'll give you the hint, is let's build some something that generates a random number. So we need somewhere to display our number. Check out this sick number. And we're gonna show it here. Oh, thank you, Brigier. And we've got a button to set the new value. So when we click the button, we're gonna set the value to some random number. Set value to math.random. Oh my god, this needs to work. Randomize. I hate that in the UK everything is with an S. Randomize. Okay. So we got our app running here. It's pretty ugly, and we're gonna zoom in so you can't. Apparently we already. Okay, you can see it, right? Okay, so if I click it, randomize, it should set the value to a random number. Oh my god, will it work? Yes, okay, it worked. Yeah, that applause for the React team. Nice, okay, so this is how you use state. Something that you need to know, like this value, I'm gonna go later on into this. So the other thing that I want to cover is like how do you replace lifecycle methods? Sorry, I still need it. Yeah. How do you replace lifecycle methods with hooks? So there's another hook called UseEffect. Nice. So you call it inside your function, and how does it work? So, Jesus Christ. So you pass in a callback, and what happens is after each render of the component, it's going to run this callback. So it's basically both component did mount and component did update. So going back to the analytics problem that I just showed you, let's assume this is our analytics track. So yeah, this page viewed. Okay, so let's see if it runs after your component renders. Okay, there it is. Let's run it again. There it is. Like some people might have noticed that it might not work because we need it to run only on the first render. Like if someone visits a page, it should be tracked just once, right? It's like not for every render. So if we click randomize, it will cause a re-render to the component and it will trigger a new track. So how do we solve that? Basically, we pass another parameter here, which is an array. And what happens is UseEffect is going to evaluate that array and see if anything changes here, it will rerun it on the next render. So if we pass it an empty array, the array will never change and it will only run once. So yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, that's it. Woohoo! Okay, and now I'm gonna show you the most exciting part about hooks, is that you can compose and create your own hooks. And while I do so, I'll show you the best practice. So let's get started. So first off, a very common thing, let's make it load something when the component mounts, like an API fetch, all right? So, okay, I've got here a mocked API. I think it's called mock API. API mock. All right, mock API. API mock, okay. Entertain them, Max.
How about you?
So one thing, like looking at this component, like now we don't want a button anymore. We want the random value to be called from an API. So how should we do it? We got value, we got set value. This value needs to be inside this component. And we want to update it in here. So we want to call set value here. Okay, and we need to call the API. So let's make this an async function. No, you can't do it. So let's make it outside. Async get number. Let's say response equals await API mock. We need an endpoint here. Random. Oh, no, not my name. Random number. Okay. It's a pretty sophisticated mock API. So, and after we get the data, we should set it here, which is response.data. Trust me, it's a number. What's wrong here? Oh. Okay. So our effect can't be async, so we need to call something else here. When we gotta call a number. So what API mock does here is it's got a delay in it, and after 1 second or so, it will return some random value. So what's happening here? We've got a state for our component. We're fetching data from the API. We got a method to fetch data from the API. And when the component loads, we want the number to be fetched and stored inside our component. And then we want to show it. Okay, so let's start. It should start with 0. Let's do it. Whoa! So I'm going to refresh the page, and you're going to see that it's going to start with a 0, and after some time, it will fetch our number. Yeah, okay. So now, this is pretty exciting. I mean, yeah, it is, but I'm going to show you why. So what we just did, inside our function, we've got several hooks. And these things before, when I needed to do it in a class, they will be attached to lifecycle methods or to like state definitions. But not here. Max, come back here. But not here. So now I'm going to show you, you can extract this and create your own hooks. Please. We're making history, man. Okay. So you can see here that is it fine? You can see here that our component, like the component itself only consumes the value. Like all of this code is here to support getting the value. What if we could, touchpad, okay. What if we could extract this into some hook, some external function, use random number. Oh yeah, okay. And it will return the number. So we've got the same, it got the same logic, but you're just returning what the component needs. So here we call use random number, const value, use random number, and it should just work. Oh, sorry. Number is not defined. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's right. Value. Okay. Whoa, it just works. Like you can extract things from your components and use this everywhere you want, and you don't need to instantiate classes anymore. So there's there's a first rule that I wanna ask you please to follow, is the naming convention. So whenever you're defining your own hooks, please make sure you use the use keyword in front of them. So we know it's this is about a hook yeah, just to help your fellow developers and yourself in your mess when you're trying all this later. So that's the first rule. Second rule, don't call hooks inside. Oh my god. Okay, that's all right. Second rule, don't call hooks inside loops or conditions. So I messed up the slides here, so this is supposed to be later, and the 3 is supposed to be 2. Let's do it like that. So rule 2, don't call hooks from regular functions. So the thing is, you can only call hooks from function components or from other hooks. So we can assure data, how do you call it, reliability, that you're doing it the right way. So it's in the docs, I won't fight it. And the third rule, don't call hooks inside loops or conditions, and I'm gonna show you here with some slides. So, thank you, Max. So here's this component. It uses state 3 times, uses context. I'm not covering this here, but Bill is, the next speaker, and uses effect. So the thing, how it works, like on the first render, it will sort of create a map between the call and what should be in there. So you get a number from state first time, you get a name, you get an email, and it will all be mapped to that. On the next render, it will all come back in the same order. Say if you got a condition in there, and you got, say the condition is satisfied on the first place, then we get that order there. In the second run, the second render, condition is not satisfied anymore, and you're gonna have the number will be called, and you fetch the right thing. The condition will not be satisfied. You ask for email from the state, and you look, okay, next thing, name.